Hello! Welcome to episode 108 of We Have Issues. I'm Anthony, and every week my best friend Stevie Wildcard and I get together and we do our best to overcome our various obstacles and issues and make something creative in the world. Most recently, it's been a supernatural action comedy called Deathless, and we're working on it. We're doing our best. Unfortunately, life finds a way. So do the destruction, the odd obstacles, the craziness, the madness just shakes the productivity, makes it difficult. We get our feet trapped in the quicksand of life. This week we were getting super ambitious. We were like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna record 2 interviews. We're gonna make this work. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna work out. We're gonna record 2 interviews and a podcast, and I'm gonna edit all of them. It's gonna be so great. And then we looked at the news that everyone else in the whole world was already aware of, that we were just like ostriches with our heads in the sand, not paying attention to, because we were so myopically super hyper focused on our goals. Which, I mean, it's usually a good thing, right? Not in this case. In this case, we were like, oh, wait a second, there's a hurricane coming. So there is a hurricane actively pursuing us. So we did record our 2 interviews back to back, and they were both phenomenal. But what we weren't really able to do was our normal episode. However, I do think that either interview would work as an episode. We talk about all of the things that we normally talk about. We play games and such, but I wasn't sure how to do that. So this is going to be our interview with Jeff Schiller, and we're going to splice in, as we normally do, for a segment, our hilarious and wonderful Comic Conjectures segment with Andy Clarke, author, creator, writer, and artist of Flux. You can check out Andy's entire interview on Saturday. Considering, I mean, depending on how this storm goes, I don't know. Right now, I'm a little bit on edge. However, I'm doing my best to get an episode out to everyone. So I hope you all appreciate this. This is our interview with Jeff Schiller, and it's episode 108. I'm Anthony Wildcard.
Oh, and I'm just regular old Steven.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm Jeffrey Wildcard. Is that what we're gonna do?
Oh, there we go. We got so many wild cards in the mix.
Wildcard, baby.
Oh man, we're here with our new friend Jeff Schiller, comic book writer, creator, artist extraordinaire. What's up, Jeff?
I'm just a writer. Yeah, I'm just the writer. I'm definitely not the artist.
Oh no. I'm sorry. Us writers are also artists. That's what art is. Come on.
That's true. A lot of people get butthurt in this community when you use the wrong terms and stuff.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. No, for sure. But
yeah,
respect to everyone who's part of the community for sure. Jeff, we're so glad to have you here. Your book, Magic Powder, it's running on Kickstarter right now for issue 3, which is pretty freaking awesome that you've made it this far. How does that feel?
It's been a good year, if you'd have told me last year this, I would have been pretty excited to hear that. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked.
Heck yeah, dude. I read the first issue. I have the second issue. Haven't read it yet. Because Steve and I talk about this every week. We're just we do our best to read everything, but it's I'm sure you have a bunch of books. You buy books from the community.
Oh, so many.
I have this whole freaking what are you gonna do?
Yeah, the worst is sometimes people hit me up and hey, will you read my comic real quick?
Yeah.
And give me a pull code or something. It's man, I'll get to it when I get to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I can't promise you anything.
Adulting is tough, man. It's not easy doing everything,
That's exactly it, dude. However, I'm thankful that we do this interview series, because then it gives me an excuse to be oh no, I'm sorry, this is my work now. I need to read this book for work, So I sit down and I read this book, and I'm so mad at myself for not getting through it sooner, because Magic Powder is so freaking cool. It was like the tone of your book is badass, and I really like it. I really love how you kind of piece together these scenes that I imagine are all coming together in this tapestry of this mafioso magic community, and it's really cool. So
yeah, it's fun to do it that way. Some people, especially in the first issue, a couple of readers were I didn't really know what was going on, kind of thing. So it's it wasn't for them, I guess.
Yeah,
but, I like it that way personally. It's a big part of it is I don't want anyone to know who the main character is, kind of thing. So I just kind of spread it out.
Yeah, for sure. It totally works. And like I can see it working like a movie series or like a TV series or something like an awesome miniseries that like eventually focuses on several characters. And I mean, you're doing a good job at making us interested in the various characters in the world. So that's cool. Steven, will you ask the best question? Number one with a bullet like
Who's your daddy and what does he do? No, it's who are you and can you tell us about your wonderful book?
I'm like you said, I'm Jeff Schiller. I'm a writer. I live in Las Vegas. There's not really much to it as far as that goes. And then my comic book, it's on Kickstarter now, Magic Powder. We're on issue 3, like you guys said. It's drawn by Danielle Aquilani out of Italy. All my covers are done by Samuel Lunzi out of Nigeria. My sister Raven, she does all the graphic designs and everything on the Kickstarter pages. She does all the thank you pages and everything like that. Like when I messed up Anthony's name on the second issue, which is why that's the real reason he didn't read the second issue.
that is. But, I was like, I had it, I burned it, I threw it away.
I threw it in the garbage.
My name was in it, right? I'm pretty sure my name was in it.
No,
yours made it. Yeah, we got yours.
Look at this, Steven.
But I'm sorry, I made up for it in the coloring book. I got you guys in there.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. That's so awesome, dude.
Brilliant, dude. Thank you for that again. So for those of you who don't know, we both backed Jeff's book previously when he ran his other Kickstarters, and because it looks awesome. Like if you don't go check out the link below. Go check out the campaign right now. It's an awesome book. It's totally worth supporting.
The interior artwork is really cool and stylized too. I do like that art.
But there are a lot of you can do a bunch of you can get all of the catch up issues below, so catch up with the series. But we both backed it, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get my name in this book. I'm gonna show my son. I'm gonna be somebody. I'm gonna be someone, son. Come watch this. I was like, son, come to me and see who I've become. I'm a man of me. I'm important. And I opened the book. And my name isn't there. And my son looked me in my eyes and he said, "You're a fucking liar."
You failed us all.
You failed us all.
And my name wasn't there. But no, it was cool. It was funny because Steven and I, we both go through it the same way. Steven will be like, "I'm not Wildcard. It's not my name." And he gets, for me, I was like, maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I just didn't.
This is my fault.
My fault somehow. I'm like, hey man, did I do something wrong? I don't know.
Jeff Schiller didn't ask me to exist. You know what I'm saying? I just kind of existed and
Yeah, so and Jeff was really cool. You were immediately just like, "Oh, nope, I messed up some names."
That was on me, man. That's the only name so far I think that I've messed up. But I gotta. Hopefully, I don't do that again. And then it's on the digital copy, it's fixed and everything now. So when people read that, but with this I'll have to reprint issue 2, so the name will be in there. So don't worry.
My copy is going to be worth more. The copy with just Steven will be worth more though because it's the misprint. So
the Stevie Wildcard Special Edition.
The Stevie Wildcard Special Edition.
Oh my god! So Jeff, what are your biggest issues with writing and creating? As you're going, it's everyone seems to have issues with time. I just want to know: is that what it is? Is it the time?
Yes, I have the time. I have the time. I don't have the money. You see,
the money.
That's the problem. Yeah, the money is the problem. But as far as time goes, that's how I'm able to cultivate an audience, is because I do have a ton of time. So
we're all jealous. We're all right now just like I'm burning your book again for a different one. I'm mad.
No, what you just need to do, so what Anthony did to me is he lured me into his basement with snacks and then just chained me to the wall. You know what I'm saying? And then just got me pumping artwork out.
This is not a metaphor.
This is just the truth.
This is
a green screened room. This is not my reality.
He's actually
I am in a dig
each other right now.
No, but that's
he's flipping his camera, going, doing stuff like that.
But so no, that's amazing though. But I'm sure, dude, we can all relate to the money issue because obviously it costs money to make these freaking books, and especially it costs money to ship the books once you make them and get all that stuff. And
there's so much overhead. Even just with us, when we do everything, it's us. We do everything. Anthony does word balloons. He flats. Writes, and I draw. Even with us covering the creation of the book, there is still so much cost after all of that. You know what I'm saying? I can't imagine having to pay artists and cover artists and all that stuff. That's expensive.
It's no joke. And then like the real, like I think, like I said earlier, it's like now I'm gonna have to reprint and stuff with the more issues come out. It's like, you know, people are gonna still want
you keep
the back
making
issues.
mistakes. You keep having to reprint.
Yeah, exactly. You have to do all that. Yeah, no doubt about it. But it's like, yeah, so the cost goes up every single Kickstarter campaign because like you're gonna have to print all the back issues again, and it's like you're gonna pick up new readers every time. So at least on that,
hopefully.
at that, you know.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, in theory, yeah, exactly.
It's a good problem to have, but totally, man. That's that's the struggle, and that's, I mean, it's part of why we started this our podcast to begin with. Is like we were hoping to like build a community while keeping ourselves accountable and be like, how do we find people and like hopefully they'll care about us and we make them drink our Kool-Aid and be like, buy our books. You know, it's hard. You know, getting people to actually support you financially is difficult. You know,
especially nowadays. I mean, it's not like everybody's sitting on a ton of cash or anything.
Of course.
But that's kind of why, you know, I tried to make sure, you know, to make everything less than retail price on the Kickstarter and stuff like that. So people who do back it get to save money as opposed to people who go to like getmagicpowder.com after it's out and stuff like that. So, you know, and that's why it's like I have a lot of backers and it's not over the funding yet because, you know, we just try to keep it reasonably priced for everybody, which is another reason why the cost had to go up because it's like now I'm going to be printing more comics because they're cheaper, you know, the whole thing. So, yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's just cool. It's, you know, every time someone backs it, you know, you just feel basically lucky or whatever. And then if someone, you know, you lose a backer or something like that, it's like, you know, somebody had to pay a bill or something, you know?
Yeah. Oh, it's tough, man. And it's really, I'm sure like we're part of the same communities on Twitter and such. And like, you know, you see how many people are in that same water trying to get their books made. And you're like, I want to support people, but I also can't just lose my whole paycheck doing it, you know? And I'm trying to make books myself. So it's like, crap, how do you choose? How do you support things? You do what you can. And it gets crazy, man. There's so much going on.
The only thing I hate about Kickstarter personally as a backer, like not as a, you know, as a backer, I just wish that Kickstarter would take the money and pool it somewhere separate. But I'm like, oh, I back this. And all of a sudden I like get hit like when the project funds, you know, I'm saying, oh crap, I forgot about that. Boom, 50, boom. So, you know, it's like, and like I'm not like struggling, so I got it, but it's like it's a surprise. You know?
On the other hand, I am struggling, but keep throwing $50 at everyone's campaign. Like I'm not. Like
and
I'm
you're looking at your bank, like, oh, I'm still good. I got, and then all the campaigns end at the same time. It just disappears
every single time, man. And it's like even with like my website does the same thing where it's like, you know, I got to know which day it's going to come out because, you know, you got to be ready for that kind of thing. And then but with Kickstarter, I know a few people who literally have started separate bank accounts just to put the money in there for the Kickstarters they back, and then when it comes out, like, because it's like they back that many things and that's how it goes, you know.
And it's just an easier way to manage it, right? I mean, because like sometimes there's those weeks where you throw too much money towards one thing, and then your wrong account doesn't have the money to withdraw, right? So but yeah,
no doubt about it. And so it's like, you know, that's kind of the one thing, like I always try to warn people when they back, and it's also kind of a way to try and get people to back earlier than they would, is that, you know, it's not going to come out until the campaign ends. So it's like, make sure it's in there, you know, but you also don't have to worry about it taking it out instantly either. If you wanted to back earlier, then you have to, you know. So I try to convince people that way, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm waiting for payday," and I'm like, "Well, you don't have to, really. You just get these numbers up."
And those people that are like, "Damn it, I was almost out of it. I was almost
that's what it is. As you can tell, that's totally
Well, I wanted to think I'm totally broke. Like even after payday, I can't afford this shit. So
it's like, they got me.
They got me, the smart son of a bitches.
No, I mean, but it's good though. Like, and you said you're charging a minimal amount for these books. You're getting them out really cheap. You're getting people in a really like fast turnover time. Like I got all my stuff. It's all gorgeous. It was nicely packed. Everything's nice. You know, you're being considerate to people and telling them how they can get the book. It sounds like you're a hero, is what I'm hearing. Like you're a hero in the community. And it's the kind of hero that you don't hear about often. There are a lot of those out there, Stephen. And
I'm not going to explain why I do this time. No, it's the Comic Conjectures. Did you introduce it? Or did I come in too soon? This is all part of the song. It's all part of the song, baby.
I was just laughing. I was laughing at my own dumb segue, trying to find a way into.
Laughing at his own dumb. That's part of the lyrics. This is all the song. This is all the song.
It's all still the song.
It's all building up.
Okay, so We're going to play a game called Comic Conjectures, in which we talk about little-known heroes and villains from the DC Comics Encyclopedia, and we try to guess who they are. More than just try to guess who they are, we try to come up with who they might be or could be. And we're coming up with characters here. Maybe we'll get it right. Maybe we'll get it way wrong. No matter what, we're going to learn something about a character we've never heard of, and it'll be fun. So,
because
Steven,
it's Comic Conjectures.
Steven, wait for your
DC
You're not getting fed this week.
These are all part. If you go to Google and type in Comic Conjectures lyrics, all of what you just heard in the last 2 minutes and 31 seconds are the lyrics.
Well, we have 107 episodes of the Comic Conjectures lyrics. From episode 1 forward, it's been the lyrics to the song. Steven, hit us with that song.
Oh, I gotta sing another one? I've been singing this whole time. Okay. Comic Conjectures again for the third time I've said it tonight.
Nailed it though. Like, I mean, I'm not saying like that was the best one, but it was the best one, Steven. Okay, so every week we get together, we talk about little known heroes and villains, and what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna choose a name I've never heard of. If you've heard of it, just let me know. Just say like, oh, I know that, I know everything there is to know about DC Comics, and this one's on the like I'm on the mark. Steven and I are not like traditional DC Comics people. We know like the Pantheon, we know the, like we all know the Mount Rushmore of DC, like everyone else, the Justice Leagues, and like some of the linear people, we get it. But we don't know the super obscure people. Like I learned about Polka Dot Man from Suicide Squad. Like,
same here.
Like,
yeah,
I'm not like I grew up. I was born indie comics, like and like I love that stuff. I was also born in Marvel and like the Marvel animated series and stuff. I love learning about this stuff, but I just don't know it. So it's kind of cool to do this kind of thing, So what we're going to do is we're going to pick a name we've never heard of. Maybe you've heard of it out there. If you have, let us know in the comments, or let us know that, if you like our idea or their idea better. Doesn't matter. For now, I'm going to give you guys a name. This one, guys, I've never heard of this character. This is a character called Voiceover.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm really hoping it's a character because it sounds so cool. So what do you guys think? Hero or villain right off the bat?
Ooh. I think I've got to say hero.
Okay.
Hero. See, my mind went villain. I went like twisted Robin Williams character. Well, Mrs. Doubtfire is not the best example for a good version of Robin Williams, but like an even more twisted, like a voice actor who can use his voice in a certain way and like figures out a way to be like, I don't know, it's just a manipulative villain. But hero can work too. I mean, completely. Like, what if it's the telepathic like linker on the squad, right?
Easy.
Like,
Okay, is it a real character or was it someone who was like sucked into like kind of like evaporated into the atmosphere and now they drive people mad, or maybe they act as like a conscience of being the voice to anyone they choose. So maybe it's someone who's just like, he considers taking the candy bar, but chooses otherwise. And then the guy's like, wait, what? No. Could
you imagine being that being that you just decide to like narrate someone's life on a whim? Like,
yes. Like what if voiceover is just the narrator that isn't a character, like the general narrator. He is, or they are every narrator ever, including your own conscience, like those like external voices that some people might hear, good or bad. I don't know, but I'm
just thinking to myself, I'm just picturing someone that watches Japanese anime, translates it, and that's all they do. They just translate anime, do the voiceover, and they decided, I'm doing a hero's work here. So I've got to give myself a superhero.
He's the original person that dubbed like anime, like coming into America. He's like,
just pat themselves on the back. You know what? I'm doing the Lord's work. I'm translating things from Japanese, bringing them to America and elsewhere. You're welcome, everyone. That is, I mean, it's pretty heroic, honestly, I guess. So that could be it. All right, Steve. So we're going hero for sure. I don't even know what their villain would be. Like, that's why I went like the general, like, daily, day-to-day kind of, like, I came up with the character Karma Chameleon. Like, if I was invisible, I'd go around and I'd help people who are like I'd stop people from harassing retail workers, or like, when people take the shopping buggies and like put them behind cars, or I'd surround their car in it. I'd be like, haha, Karma Chameleon strikes again. And I'd disappear. Just
like hidden, just screwing people over that deserve to be screwed over.
Exactly. Yeah, like I'm not, I'm the hidden face of karma, but I'd wear a cape so then they know something happened. But
I mean, I've created a character in my head called Exposition Man that takes the voiceover narrator's job away from him by just putting exposition into the character's dialogue.
yeah, exactly. That's great.
That's good. That's great.
All right, let's figure out who this is. So, voiceover is actually I learned about this from playing this game, but there's a thing called Hero Hotline. Have you guys ever heard of Hero Hotline?
I have not.
So it was a thing. Let me see if it actually explains what it is. When Superman is flying up and away, or Batman just isn't answering the bat signal, all anyone needs to do to find a substitute superhero is dial 1-800-555-HERO. The Hero Hotline is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and handles calamity beyond the range of the normal emergency services. So it's a place where you call to get a phone a friend superhero. So instead
like a
of calling
Squirrel
the cops,
Girl from Marvel, or like
I mean, Steven, it's like a voiceover who is Andrew Greenwald, who can imitate any voice or sound. So I guess if you're like, there's someone outside my house, and they're like, they're scaring me, they're trying to break in. This guy shows up and he's like, you better leave them alone. You know? And then it's like, and
he just shows up, he's like, I'm gonna give you to the count of 10. 1
to get your note
10.
Yellow belly. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, Home Alone. What? Okay. Humbug. Do you guys know Humbug? First of all, Christmas-based villain, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna guess villain as well. Christmas themed, maybe.
Christmas themed villain.
Dude, I'm just imagining like a queen bee, but like completely looks like, why am I drawing a blank? Ebenezer Scrooge. Like, just looks like Scrooge, but it's just like a bee, like a literal humbug.
It's a
like
literal
it's just,
bug. What if God. It's a bug that was bitten by a radioactive Ebenezer Scrooge.
Exactly. So now he's just walking around with a big old top hat on and everything.
the most careful bite, I must add, like just like a nibble on the bumblebee.
There's some fragile teeth. They're probably dentures, honestly.
They're probably dentures, yeah.
So we're saying
what the bee flew into his like dentures that were sitting in the water, and his like bacteria radiation.
Yeah, exactly.
It grows.
You didn't have to bite him.
It didn't have to bite him at all.
It's just walking around firing people from their jobs that they don't have power over. Like, what is going on? Refusing people Christmas hams.
He goes back to the hive. He's like, you all have to work on Christmas. Like, we work 24/7. We're bees.
We work every day.
What is Christmas? What is a holiday?
What are you talking about?
This villain
Tiny
accidentally
Tim died
awakens
years ago.
like consciousness in these bees. They're like, wait, we're supposed to celebrate? Who is Christ? Wait a second. It's just they all become these like religious.
Yeah, I think we're onto something here.
I'm pretty okay.
Or DC was onto something.
Or DC was.
I was gonna say we don't always nail it, but this time we got it,
dude. If we ever do an outlandish one like this, and it's actually it, I'm just gonna be the happiest. Like, they're just so happy that somebody else did that.
Yeah. His real name's got to be Ebenezer.
It has to be, right? Let's.
So I wore a special shirt for the show tonight, guys.
Nice.
I figured, since you guys couldn't get him on, I'd rock the Kevin Smith shirt. I know you guys are trying to get him in here.
I love it. No, man, we appreciate
it.
Kevin Smith has not been on our podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll get him. We'll get him. I swear, it's gonna happen.
Hey, hopefully, you can't go wrong.
I know, right? I mean, it doesn't hurt to try, right?
Yeah, exactly. That'll be a big thing if it ever does happen.
Like, yeah. You got it, Steven?
I do, but he doesn't really have any information. Hold on.
All right, what is? I'm pretty sure we got it.
So we just created the character.
I think we just created. Yeah, I think that's what just happened.
He looks like Voldemort. I'll just put that out there. He looks like Voldemort. He's got no nose. The next move.
He's got no nose.
Yeah, he's got no nose, which is ironic
because we got it on the nose. Because we nailed this shit. Yeah.
So yeah, all I know about him is he's bad. His identity is public. He's a male. He's white. He's bald. He's from New Earth. And he was created by Roger Stern and Graham Nolan. And he was in Power of the Atom 10.
What? Okay.
Hold on.
The old one appearance wonder.
Yep.
Yeah, he's like a nobody.
That's what happens with these characters sometimes. They make it. They're strong enough to make it into the glossary, but not the actual book somehow. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's super weird.
Like,
it's like, no, we're not going to write a paragraph for this guy.
And that's all it says about Humbug is Gestalt, after it accidentally created the Humbug, an art anarchic artificial being stopped by the second atom. So he's an artificial being, is what he is.
I was gonna say, even the cover of the issue that he's from, I found it on eBay. It says who is what is Humbug, but you can't find that information anywhere. So even they don't know
how much is it on eBay? Is it like $12?
It's like $10. Yeah.
I'm gonna get it.
It's from 89. He's gonna do the research.
I'm gonna get it. I did it. Dude, I used to. So this whole segment came from like a podcast I tried to do years ago. It was called A Couple Conjectures, and it was just like we would do this, and I learned about things. I used to just buy the comics over, like, you know, I got so many weird old comics that way. It was like that's how I got like Heroes Hotline and stuff, and it was like it's pretty cool. You learn about that stuff.
Yeah,
But
and then obviously people want to hear about these random ass characters. So that's
I don't know. It's fun, right? And like, and who knows? Like, we say every once in a while, we're like, okay, if Doom Patrol comes out and like Suicide Squad comes out and all these characters are being found, like eventually everyone's gonna make their rounds on TV, right? That's just how they're doing it. They're
like,
too
dude,
afraid to give
Humbug's is gonna appear. We're gonna do like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme.
yeah, the meme.
Yeah. Like I know him.
It's exactly, yeah. And we're all just gonna be like, we did it.
The funniest part is we could be like, when it happens, we could be the only guys that can actually be like, that's not true to the comics.
Yeah, that's not true at all. I mean, who is Humbug? Ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is Humbug?
Yeah,
like, they're not even covering these topics that he's known for.
See, and the thing is, Guardians of the Galaxy ripped off Humbug with the Batista joke.
Yes, true that. Yeah, he's already just standing completely still. They already stole the Humbug.
They stole the Humbug.
DC's like, we can't. DC's like, we were just gonna come out with this Humbug show where he just stands there, but
the Humbug show.
The Humbug.
Oh man, the Humbug fucking variety hour over here.
Welcome to the Humbug show. Like, oh my god. I mean, it's gonna happen. Like, Disney has shown us that like they'll just keep creating shows of every character ever, no matter what, and it's gonna happen.
They're not shy at all right now.
I mean, yeah, it's crazy. I mean,
it's kind of like the 90s again, if you think about it. Like, the 90s was a pretty brave decade for stuff, if I'm honest.
But what gets cool, I kind of like it though, because it forces people, like, you kind of get like overwhelmed by how all of the like mainstream characters and all this stuff coming out, and you kind of like start looking for cool books like Magic Powder, you know, like that's like, then you have like this resurgence of indie comics, and then it bubbles up again because people get sick of it. We're like, all right, stop shoving it down my throat. I'm gonna find someone who actually cares about what they're doing, you know, like, and that's kind of how it is even with Star Wars too. Like, man, they just keep coming and coming. They just keep
it's
coming.
Like yeah. It's like it takes a while for, you know, in like out of like 6 series, maybe 1 or 2 is good. It's like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
With the Disney, I think that they have a higher, you know, decent show percentage, but nothing great really. Like the She-Hulk might be the best one so far, you know, and so it's like I'm enjoying that at least. But yeah, like WandaVision stuff, super soft second half, like Winter Soldier, Captain America, that was like a rush job, or like it was like stretched out too much. Loki's all right, but that should have had just both seasons written as, you know, one time.
I couldn't believe, like, I expected that to be, especially the way it was presented. I thought it was going to be just like a mini series, and it was going to be like, this is his story, we're going to give him back in the movies and stuff, and like this will have an effect. That's what I was expecting. It's whatever, we'll see.
I haven't watched all of She-Hulk yet, but like, dude, after watching the first episode, I really don't understand the CGI complaints that much. It's a television show.
The people complaining about the CGI the people complaining about She-Hulk CGI are the same people who said Lara Croft was hot in the first Tomb Raider. Like triangle breasts. They're like, oh, she's so hot.
They were okay with it. I was like watching, like, this Hulk looks just as good as the Hulk does in the movies.
People just love to grab pitchforks and torches and hate on stuff together.
And I thought it was funny. And then like even that one little, you know, that one little rant she does that they've tried to say is like a feminist rant where she's talking about how she can hold her anger better than him because she deals with it every day. It wasn't even that like awkward or anything. It was a very like well flowed scene. Like, so all the complaints that I've read online, I'm basically I knew they weren't going to be real complaints, but I'm like, no, this is.
I mean, and like some of the complaints you get, like, she doesn't know everything he's been through, you know, like no matter what, she's speaking generally and saying as my experience is concerned, and that's important. That's good. You know, it's I don't know. I think most of the rage, as you know, you guys probably see online, is mostly garbage from people who just hate it.
Those loud 5%, you know what I'm saying? They're just so loud.
But okay. Oh, good.
No, I was going to say, like, you know, even with, you know, anything that has any CGI now, like people are always like gonna find that one spot of a frame of something, and they'll be like, "Oh, look how terrible this is!" As these animators are getting like rushed to do these stupid jobs. Like, I've never played a video game or watched a TV show and was like, I have to stop watching it because the graphics are that bad. I've never been in that situation.
No.
I mean,
Final Fantasy VII is one of my favorite games of all time, and they had black hands. Like, I'm okay with it.
They got like little round. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I guess because we grew up with that though too. So
yes, but also like, dude, art and technology evolves over time, and our kind of like acceptance of it grows over time too. And it's weird how like we look back at some things from years ago and we're like, oh, that looked amazing at the time, like Lara Croft, and we're like, we thought that looked real, and now we look at it, we're like, oh, those are just triangles. What was I thinking? Like, you're filling in blanks. That's nuts how we do.
But you know what's something we all knew was bad from the start? Was the sequel to Mortal Kombat in the movie. Like, we all knew Cage
right off the bat.
Oh yeah, but then, dude, those that animality CGI, like, even when I was like, what was it, 10, I was like, oh, this is not good at all. Like,
you know which one really comes to mind when we were thinking about bad CGI? It was the first appearance of The Rock as the Scorpion King.
Yes,
like the Mummy 2 or Mummy 3, whatever it was, and it looked so stupid.
You know what's crazy?
Might be the one thing that comes to mind.
I just saw a random TikTok on that from the guy, like the animation director, which is so funny that you bring that up. And he said that, like, so like he goes, if you look at some of the other sequences during the fight, it's fine, but when it's the head-on scenes,
the one right on his face.
He goes, it's very important to have reference, and they had no reference shots for The Rock, so they basically just created The Rock out of memory on a big Hollywood production.
Huge money,
So like, could you imagine that?
He's like, they know what I look like.
I don't think they could have done much better than that, but like, it doesn't, like, that's the thing is, it's like Rock adjacent, you know what I'm saying? It's like
it is. I don't know. That stuff's so interesting. Like the uncanny valley, like when you fall into that. I don't think She-Hulk did that at all, though. I think like it looks fine. I see like some of the complaints, or like I can see some weird smoothness like issues occasionally. I don't care. I'm not gonna like. It doesn't ruin the show. Also, okay, how about this? She's literally transforming, and her skin just looks different than a human's.
Well, that's also definitely.
You know what I mean?
Like us.
Well, yeah, it's not supposed to look perfectly like it's just crazy. But in any case, all right, let's see. Let's get back to these questions. Steven, can you ask number 4?
Yes, sir.
Steven, we're supposed to be professionals here. I feel like you're just...
I'm the furthest thing from professional.
A wild card, if you will. Own it.
I'm a wild card. Yeah, but that means I suck at doing anything what's expected.
Yeah, exactly.
Wild card isn't
you
always
can't
a
expect
positive.
anything.
It's not a positive thing.
All right, give us that wild card number 4, Steven.
So, like, how can someone that's just starting off, or even someone that's in the industry now, like, how can they get to where you are? Like, what steps can they take early on? Like, some early steps that can take.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I don't even. Where am I? So I don't know. I guess.
Who am I? You're Humbug.
Exactly.
Aren't we all just Humbug?
Yeah, I guess that's what we were really find. That should be the name of this episode. But freaking A. I would say, first thing you got to do is come up with the idea. Obviously, have an idea, stuff like that. Then you got to have a budget, and then you got to find an artist, and then hopefully it's the right artist. Because I got really lucky. It's the first artist I went with. Ended up being just great to work with, and stuff like that. Like, I hear a lot of people say they work with artists and maybe they did one page and then they disappeared off the. It's a lot of people pay ahead of the time and they never see their money again. I don't know. So it's
that's rough. Yeah.
I hear stories like that all the time. So it's like you got to get lucky is a real big part of it. And then as far as like I would say the thing I got ahead of everything on was I had like an audience kind of like, because I used to do a YouTube channel with it was called Toy Spotting and stuff like that. And then I've also been writing in the writing community or whatever forever. I used to publish my screenplays and stuff like that, like self-published like books. Yeah. So it's like just kind of like practicing before you even got to the actual self-publishing of the comic helped. But like I said, I mean, we're 3 issues in, but it's not like I'm a big part of the industry or something like that. So I don't feel like I'm like anywhere, but
I'm going to completely edit that out. He is a big part of the industry. We are happy to have the big shot Jeff Schiller on our show right now.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, it's like, I feel like I'm not connected to anything at all. Like even like comic book shops and stuff like that. Like I went to a couple and I don't know. I don't even have my comic in any stores or nothing like that. I'm not talking to any publishers because like I have talked to a couple and I didn't like really what I was hearing. I was like, what's the point? What are you going to do for me kind of thing? And there wasn't a lot being offered. So yeah, I don't know. I would say if anything, you got to be willing to just do what you want to do and follow through what you say you're going to do, because if you don't, people are not going to come back.
Very true. So actually, like it's not written down here, but I'm interested because like you're part of the comics community, and you know people know you. Obviously, people are supporting your book. Hopefully, they support your book and they go and click the link below and get it to 100%. I feel like you're gonna make it. We're gonna keep pushing, dude. It'll happen.
Yeah, I'm feeling good about it at this point. Like now we're at 85%. Man.
It's looking good.
Oh, I haven't backed yet, and I'm the wild card, so who knows what
the
can
wild
happen.
card.
Wild card coming in.
Yeah, and I don't know if you remember, he was bragging about how it doesn't break the bank earlier. So
I have a checking account. I
bags
have a checking account and I have a savings account.
Steven, are you?
I moved the money from the checking account to the savings account.
Steven, just putting that out there. Did you back the previous one at the tier where you get to be in the book?
No, I'm not as cool as you.
I'm just saying I'm in the book,
but I was cool. I was cool enough to be mentioned, though.
I'm just that is cool. That is cool. You're cooler than I am. You're cooler than I am. However,
but I've seen it, and it's awesome. I should back that tier just so I can get put in the future at some point.
So everyone out there, go back the book because Steven's not going to be in the book. Be in the book with me. Be my buddy in the book. Go back it at a tier where you get drawn in. And you can get like cool drawings like this. Check it out. It's pretty sweet, dude. That's a fun tier.
Whenever he uploads screens, I'm just gonna copy the screen and then draw myself into it
your face
digitally. Yeah, I'm just like,
just face.
Don't even draw. Just Photoshop your actual.
Just Photoshop
crudely, like not even like the
crudely.
background, like the square backgrounds there too. Like it's just.
You just have to ruin everything for me. Steven, you are the humbug.
I am the
humbug.
Sure. I knew
that's why I've been throwing the scent off because they wrote a story about me back in the 80s. They hated me.
Head of the game. But no, the thing with the like having the characters in it, it's like it's just kind of fun seeing like obviously you and stuff, but like even just like friends from real life and stuff that I've known forever, and it's like man, it's just kind of fun.
You're just immortalizing a book. It's awesome. It's cool stuff.
Totally.
It's fun.
And it's like I haven't killed off anybody that paid for a character yet. So who knows what's gonna happen? So a lot of people like when they pay for their hair, I think they're worried about getting whacked in the first issue or whatever. You don't know what's gonna happen. I can't make no promises, but
are you gonna
so far everybody's alive.
Are you gonna do like the rest in peace thing like you did at the end of the first? Okay, cool. That's sweet. All right.
Yeah, every issue gonna have that.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, I don't know if someone's gonna die every issue, but like
whenever, yeah.
Right.
Because that was really cool. So at the end of the, I mean, I don't know spoilers, but people die in a book. You don't know who. But it's pretty cool. You do the rest in peace thing. So like, do you have any? I would personally like your advice for the comic community, and like, like, how do you think we could get in with the comic community a little bit better and like get people to follow our podcast and follow our interviews and read more, like watch more of these and to support one another, because it's kind of like a pirates game out there where it's like we talked about that a little earlier where it's like we can't support everyone financially, but you'd think it wouldn't be so hard to get people to hit a freaking subscribe button.
Retweet and stuff like that.
So like,
now, I would say one thing that might help in as far as like getting viewers and stuff, I would think maybe going live might help a little bit.
Yeah,
because like every time I'm on a live show, like I feel like if I post that link on the Twitter account, people will jump on, just random people I don't even expect to. They're like, I watched and stuff. So it's like it's a little different when it's already recorded, I think, because then they can't be interacting with you and stuff.
That's true.
So I think that draws in some viewers for a podcast. Or
I really should start like doing like the screen sharing, like when I'm drawing pages, and just do lives while I'm doing it and talk to people while I'm drawing.
Stream it. Yeah, totally. If you can do that and focus at the same time, definitely.
No,
if not, maybe just play some royalty-free music and do it.
I got it. He'll draw, and I'll talk as if I'm drawing.
Commentate. Exactly. Like it's you. I messed that line up real bad. Fuck.
Your hand is just so, because it's like my hand on the back. Like, wow, Anthony, you got some mitts.
And you got both your hands like while you're talking. You have them on the screen, and you're like, "How's he doing this?"
Oh man, this was a great page that I was organizing.
You're just doing it like Daniel Day-Lewis with your foot.
Oh yes.
Oh man,
dude, he's so good. He's crazy, that guy.
That's what I was gonna say too. Like the very first time I seen your guys' show, you had the No Country for Old Men poster behind you, and I was like, oh, all right, this is cool. They're all right. These guys are dope. And now I'm like, oh, where's the? I came out like it's gone now. It's gone.
Sorry. I know. I moved, and I was like, well, right now my spot is in like a little like library nook in the living room, and I was like, I can't. I felt weird having Evil Dead 2 and No Country for Old Men posters like with kids around. And I was like, dang. Like my room is one thing, and then it's like, all right, it's in the living room. I don't think the kids need to see like the dead like evil eyes of Anton Chigurh. Yeah,
because they're gonna eventually ask, "What is this?
What is this?"
and then they're gonna want to see it.
Yeah. Oh, and I can't wait to show it to them when they're of age because I love that freaking movie.
I just want to see Atlas like flip a coin for people's lives.
Can you imagine my son just, what's the most you've ever lost at a coin toss? But
yeah, man, I can't imagine if I would have seen that as like a 3-year-old as opposed to like Terminator.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, yeah, like Child's Play scared the crap out of me, but dude with cattle, like bullet cattle prod machine head smashing tech
Crazy.
would have really freaked me the F out at 3 for sure.
All right.
I mean, I've seen it. The first time I ever seen that movie, I was on shrooms at the movie theaters, and so the very first couple lines, Tommy Lee Jones is talking with his accent and everything. I didn't even think he was speaking English. And then it took, I kind of tuned into the Texan, twang or whatever you want to call it. And, it was probably the coolest experience I ever had at a movie theater, especially because the movie's amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fucking dope. It was like Thanksgiving. Yeah, it was.
Oh man, so this is like a plethora of great things happening all at once.
Yeah, that was quite an epic month, I think, too, because I think There Will Be Blood came out that month. So yeah,
yes, I always connect those two movies. I think a lot of people do, and I love both of them. I like when things like that happen, where it's like they can both come out. They're not really competing for the audience. It's like I just love both of these things.
And I think Jesse James, the assassination of Jesse James was around that time too. Man. Like that year was a really good year for fucking movies.
Oh yeah,
and especially like westerns. I guess those are all kind of westerns in a way. So that's awesome. But yeah, fucking
it had like a little resurgence there, and then like that was pretty cool. Like then Bone Tomahawk and like those movies started coming out, and like the indie.
Even what's the one with Russell Crowe and Ben Foster? 310 to Yuma.
Man,
True Grit remake.
Ben Foster is great. You remember
Ben Foster was Angel, right?
Angel.
And,
yes.
Yes. And
that guy.
3? Was
it
probably
the one with Kelsey Grammer. Yeah.
Yep. Which I don't care, man. That was still Dreamcast. That was a Dream fan cast right there. I don't know why.
They should have made a sitcom of him as Beast.
That would have made so much sense.
But then they filmed it like Frasier,
just totally a straight sitcom. Yeah. Yeah, that would have been amazing. Even with the same cast, even that would have been fun.
It's going to happen, right? Instead. Like, I mean, that's what Disney's doing. We're gonna get back there. Like, we're gonna get.
I hope, man. Because it was like such a perfect voice for Beast because of the '90s X-Men show. Obviously, we all have Beast framed in our mind. So
of course. It's cool though.
You guys are talking about '90s Marvel, those cartoons are it right there.
Oh, they're so it.
I mean, that was definitely like
except for Wolverine Young Yuriko over and over again.
Yes,
Yuriko. Or more.
Dude, it was like every episode felt like yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. Didn't they show like the leeches or the leech episode, like the Morlocks, and then they showed like the Moriko, and then they showed, it was weird how that like
Moriko,
but how they repeat the same episodes over and over. But I mean, I guess that's part of how they drilled it into our head as a gateway drug, and they're like, you're gonna want to be Gambit, and I'm like, I do want to be Gambit.
He doesn't forever. Yep.
God, but that we were a perfect audience for that at the time. Speaking of perfect audiences and perfect segues, Anthony, thank you. Who's your book for, Jeff? Like, what is the perfect audience for your book? Who do you think should go right now and back? I mean, obviously everybody, but like, who do you think will really like it? Like, who would really like Magic Powder 3?
I think it's for people that are fans of things like, let's say, Game of Thrones, dark fantasy, things like The Sopranos, gangster shit series that, have a bunch of characters that you have to keep track of. I would also say it's kind of like, shows like The Wire. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Gomorrah, but it's like an Italian show that's kind of like The Wire in a way. It's probably better than The Wire in some ways too. Like, you guys should check that out if you ever get a chance. But yeah, just for, it's not really like a comic book for comic book readers, really. It's more for like people who are into Grand Theft Auto. You know what I mean? It's like so many things. Like, I feel like it's not like any other comic book that I can think of, which is why I made it. And then, I just feel like that's why my audience is also kind of, a little bit different than everyone else's audience. Because I hear a lot of guys like, oh, all I get is creators, backing creators. And there's a lot of people I get, backing me is just, people I randomly talked into it. Like, oh, this is kind of like based on El Mariachi, or this is based on, Leon the Professional and stuff like that. And people are like, what? And then they see a freaking Minotaur with a fucking minigun. And then it's over, So it's basically for anyone who likes, they like, anyone who likes creative action, I guess, what I'm saying? It's going to be brutal,
Yeah, you can't talk about The Professional and El Mariachi without being my best friend. Like,
what I'm saying? Yeah,
you
exactly.
say those things, and I'm like, oh, I was like, that's a, yeah.
You know?
I was like, that's exactly where I grew up. You know, I was like, I love that. Like, that's what, yeah. Those, I mean, those two movies actually, like, The Professional is the movie that inspired my like solo comic, Bullet and the Beast, because I saw that and I was like, what if Matilda grew up and was this badass assassin, and what if one day she met a werewolf, and what would she do? And so what happens is, and that's literally how I came up with that idea. I was like, I was watching The Professional, and I was like, what if Matilda was badass, like stoic assassin when she grew up? She accident, like she has to go kill this guy. He turns out to be a werewolf, and she escapes narrowly because she's a badass. But she gets bit, and she like passes out in the street and is saved by someone. But now she has to go kill the werewolf that bit her. And it becomes this like chase, you know. So that's how it's called Bullet and the Beast, and that's what it was. So yeah,
so I would say I guess a big audience would be the '90s kids. You know, everybody grew up when we grew up, like you said. You know, Kevin Smith. You know, people like Tarantino.
I just take the wrong thing from this. Like, yeah. So if you like Flubber,
well, that's the thing. You know, there might even be something like that in there. Like it's a little bit for everybody.
I'm gonna go and back your book as Flubber.
That's gonna be the wild card now.
That's the wild card nomination. Do you like Flubber?
Yeah, he's gonna pay for a character and be like, make sure it looks like Flubber.
Make sure it looks just like Flubber. It's just Steven as Flubber. I love it.
So it's just
green
Steven.
And weird. How dare you, Steven? I will not abide by this.
Oh man,
Stevie wildcard hatred. All right, Steven, will you ask the final question for us?
Where can people find you? Like, what websites? What you got going on over there?
On social media, you can find me at a Jeff Schiller on Twitter, Instagram. That's pretty much all I use. I'm a little bit on Facebook. You just look up Magic Powder. We got a page, getmagicpowder.com if you're just trying to buy the comics, and that's pretty much it. I mean, you know, I'm not hiding out here. I'm, you know, just type in my name, you'll find me. I feel like I don't have like my own personal website outside of the Magic Powder website, because I don't want to really make it harder for people to buy the comic. I feel like a lot of people, like, they put links to links to links to links to links. It's like, man, I just try to give you the direct access. You know what I'm saying? No one wants to click.
The comic is me, and I'm the comics. So
yeah, exactly. You know,
what
I mean?
Like, I find a lot of people, and I'm like, I'll see something about their book, and I'll go to their page, and like their pinned tweet has nothing to do with their active campaign, and I'm like, I'm looking for your book, man. You know, like, I want to back your book, and I can't even find. I'm scrolling, and I see retweet. Where is your freaking Kickstarter link? Put it at the top so I can find it. And
put it in your freaking bio too.
Yes,
a lot of people don't do that.
100%.
Another thing I feel like people think is a good idea, but I don't think is a good idea, is Linktree. Because every time I go to someone's Linktree, I'm like, or I just see it's a Linktree. I'm like, I'm not even gonna click on this probably. You know what I'm saying?
It's two links. I think about that too.
It's a bad idea.
I'm with you too. Like, I have one, and like, I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the numbers, but I totally get what you're saying though, because it's 2 clicks. When people, it's hard enough to get people to click once. You know, like, I'm totally. You know, we're trying. It's, you know, it's crazy. Like, we were talking about earlier about trying to get people to click, like, just click the freaking subscribe button.
Just touch the button.
Touch the button.
The other thing is, like, you know, if someone's signed into their account all day, they're more likely to subscribe than someone who's like, oh, I don't remember my password and stuff like that.
For sure.
So it's like, you always get those kind of people like, oh, I watch your show. It's like, well, did you subscribe? It's like, oh, well, you know. So yeah, that's kind of annoying. But yeah, I don't know. I would just say, that, like, overall you gotta cater, I guess.
Yeah, I know.
I've gone through and rebranded, like, pretty much, like, my Instagram, my DeviantArt, all those are Stevie Wildcard now, so people can just type. I'm owning that name, you know what I'm saying? There's not
except for when you talk to people, like, specifically, except for when you say your name.
I'm very confident about this name. I seldom have to explain it to people, because, like, I live in that name.
It just describes you perfectly. Like, there's
perfectly
no reason even. So there's no questions asked when someone says, "Oh, is that Stevie Wildcard?" You know,
like, oh, everybody knows the Wildcard.
But Anthony, remember that time I, like, tried to, like, put my name into a chess game, and I was like, I don't want them to know my real name, so I changed my last name to Jod, which my last name is Todd. It's like his
last name is Todd. He's like Stephen Todd. He's like I'm playing online chess, but I don't want them to discover my identity.
So I'm
gonna change it. No one's gonna crack this code. And he changes it to Stephen Jod.
He just adds a line to the T.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know who this John fella is, but he plays very mediocre chess.
At least I know if we ever do put you in the book, I know what your name's going to be now.
Oh, true. It's a nice throwback to a throwback.
Oh my
God. Over here.
The Jod, and he's just made a Flubber.
Are you a fan of Flubber?
Yeah, exactly.
Such a
Did you love Robin Williams as Jack?
Yeah.
I mean, jeez. Oh, Robin Williams. All right, let's not cry.
Yeah, let's hold it in. Bring it back.
But, all right, Jeff, it's been awesome talking to you. I'm so glad we finally got to do this. I hope everyone goes and backs your book right now. I'm so confident it's gonna make it, but it'll really only make it if people hit the freaking buttons and go and support your campaign. So if you don't have the money to support it, share the campaign. Share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook, share it on Instagram, everywhere you can. Get this book out. It's awesome. It's on issue 3. You know it's good. They're trying to be, just ambitious and doing the work. They're putting in the work and it's showing. It's good. And we appreciate it and we loved having you on, dude. Thank you for joining our cult. I know you didn't necessarily agree to that on paper, but we're going to say that you're part of it.
We've decided that whenever someone
wouldn't have any paperwork like that, so that's smart.
Exactly. Yeah, it's when you click the link.
There's no paper trail. We're a Flubber-based society. You see?
Yeah, exactly.
It bounces around. You can't find it. It makes things hover and So yeah. Not admissible in court. We're fine. We're never gonna be caught.
I love how you have a Flubber background on your shirt.
Yeah, right. This is another Valorn tweed. I had another book that we supported.
I've seen the Flub.
Actually, it's pretty cool. I mean, we met them the same time we met your book, you guys. So it was
it was around the same time. I remember that.
Like, dude, every once in a while, I mean, I get like, and you'll see, like, after we post this, I'm gonna be like, freaking magic powder until people hate me. But like.
Last issue, I wasn't even on the show, and you guys talked about it, and it freaking blew up. So it's like, dude, a big part of the middle campaign was you guys, boosting it. So
yeah, dude. Well, it just we talk about stuff like off. We have our private DMs, and I'm just like, I don't get why this book isn't funded yet. Like, it pisses me off, and like that's what starts to get. I'm like, I see these other books that are good or okay, but like, there's no reason they should have this amount of money, and this book doesn't yet. And I hate it, and I'm just like, I need to like make this happen or help however I can, And it's like, fuck. And that's why we do these freaking interviews, and we're trying to get people out there more, and get people in our community and our cult, so they hit the button and also drink our Kool-Aid and be our.
And that way we can all battle on ostriches in the future, because we all know it's coming.
See, with Magic Power, we don't do a cult; we have a family.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. That's very
so if you want to be a part of the family, go ahead and back it. But I don't know about this cult stuff. I don't know.
Yes, you do. He already agreed to be a part. It's a family cult gathering.
Cult is a very aggressive term. It's not what we do.
Exactly. We're rebranding now.
But Jeff, it's been amazing having you. I hope everyone backs your book, and we hope everyone checks out, the full interview with you this week, and just follow you on Twitter. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
You can check out Andy's entire interview on Saturday. Considering, depending on how this storm goes, I don't know. Right now, I'm a little bit on edge. However, I'm doing my best to get an episode out to everyone. So I hope you all appreciate this. This is our interview with Jeff Schiller, and it's episode 108 of We Have Issues. Every week we talk about our various issues, and we also give quick updates for our book. We've been working really hard on Deathless, and we're getting to the point where we're ready to print our first test print of this book, and I can't freaking wait. Steven's colors look incredible, and it looks so cool with all of the lettering and stuff. I'm like, it's a real book, and it's coming to life. And I think probably the week after this, we're going to announce, whether or not we're ready to send off some test prints. And then when those come back, we're going to be ready to ship off the book to everyone and just get everyone the book. So I'm so excited. But in the meantime, thank you all. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for listening. We really do appreciate it. It's been a weird week. Obviously, anxiety is real high with this storm. I hear it. I hear it outside. I see it coming. I'm thankfully shuttered up when I can shutter up. Can't shutter up everything. It's a little crazy. I'll talk about that next week. If I'll still be here. I'm gonna make it. But in any case, thank you. Thank you so much for being here for us. Thank you for being part of our colony. Thank you for drinking the Kool-Aid. Please go check out Jeff Schiller's book, Magic Powder, issue 3. It is phenomenal. All the links for Jeff Schiller and for Andy Clarke are below. They're both amazing, fantastic people and wonderful members of the comic community. And I really hope everyone goes out there and supports them, because, that's what makes a community. That's what makes indie comics possible is, you know, people who read indie comics, which happen to sometimes be indie creators and sometimes not, you know. But if you're out there right now and any of their books sound interesting to you, go check them out, please. That's, you know, it's all we can do is try. But anyway, we'll see you next week. Thank you so much. I'm Anthony, and this has been episode 108 of We Have Issues. See you next time.
If you think about like this amount of questions is perfect for us because we kind of ask these things anyway as we're going, and we add our own little things. So that's perfect because it gets right to the point if they want to get to the point, and then we just do us.
Yeah. And then we get them to drink the Kool-Aid. And
we got to make them drink the dirty, dirty Kool-Aid.
They get the Kool-Aid, and then they're part of the Kool-Aid. That's how it works. No.
Dirt flavored Kool-Aid.
Can you hear us, Jeff?
Yeah,
I think so.
Right. Hey, what's up, dude?
Dirt flavored Kool-Aid.
That's right. So we're basically, when we start, I'm just gonna do like a hello, like welcome to the interview thing. I'm Anthony. Steven will say he's Steven. You just say you're Jeff, you know, and then we'll get into a few questions.
I actually say Stevie Wildcard, which is super lame, but
I know you do.
It's part of the shtick. It's part of the shtick, so it's gotta.
Hey, I know how it is. Yeah.
And he just shakes his head because I'm always just announcing everything that
he has to make sure everyone knows that it's ironic and it's not his real name, and he's so embarrassed of it. And I'm just like, just go for it.
Yeah, I would say I was expecting you to say it. I didn't. You know, yeah.
But no, I need to explain it. Like, actually, I have like a 10-minute, like, you know, like.
The funniest thing is like one day Steven's gonna be super famous. He's gonna have like a star on a boardwalk somewhere, but he's gonna die standing next to it, just going, "My name's not Stevie. It's not Stevie."
There was like, dude, do you remember? And I know you remember this because I remember you and Mike made fun of me for it. But like a long time ago, we made this like home video, and like I got up and my pants were sagging so you could see Joe Boxer. And I would always say every time we watch the video, I go, it's Joe Boxer advertisement, because I was like so ashamed of it. But it's like the same thing. Like I'm following the same trend, like just trying to speak for it.
You have to own it, Steven. You gotta own it. Like,
my boxes are fucking showing.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's the fucking attitude.
All right. Let's do this. Hello, welcome to another episode of We Have Interviews.